for want of a better cliche, it's just a really nice place to be. The Mercedes C-Class has always been a big company car favourite alongside cars like the BMW 3 Series and the Audi A4, cars like that. Now there's a brand new one, but it's not electric. So has Mercedes missed a trick? Well, I've got a feeling that this very car has got a pretty special trick up its sleeve. And if you stick around, subscribe to the Car Buyer YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified when new videos go live, I'll tell you exactly what that is.
You see, while admittedly there is no pure electric C-Class equivalent right now, Mercedes is offering buyers what it deems a better solution, a plug-in hybrid. But this isn't any ordinary plug-in hybrid. It's a plug-in hybrid with a 24.5 kilowatt-hour battery, bigger than the one you'll find in the original Nissan Leaf, but with a petrol engine attached. Officially, that means a pure electric range of 68 miles without using a drop of fuel.
But look, we haven't often reviewed specific engines, powertrains, or trim combinations, and we're not about to start now. So while this car, on paper at least, is particularly impressive, the plug-in hybrid, we're gonna look at this and use this review to cover off everything you need to know about the petrol, the diesel, and the plug-in hybrid, no matter which one that you want. And first things first, the cabin, and what a wonderful place to start. Remember, this is not an S-Class or even an E-Class. This is one rung off the very bottom of the Mercedes ladder. And you get tech like this, an 11.9-inch touchscreen. It looks great, it's super slick to use, and if you prefer, you can use the standard fit Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. But the good thing about this system, this portrait-oriented system, is that it actually takes up the whole screen rather than just a small portion of it, which it does often on displays such as this. The climate controls, they are a permanent fixture on the screen, and I know we've moaned about this before, but they're actually pretty big, which means you can adjust things on the move without making too many mistakes or hitting things that you wouldn't normally want to. So not too bad in that regard, but general quality is really good in here and easily a match for anything that this car's German rivals can bring to the table. The dials over here, they're fantastic, really easy to read, really big and configurable if you should so wish. Better still, everything you see in this car comes as standard whichever version you go for. So you get the big screen in the middle and the digital dials behind the steering wheel. Absolutely standard on every single model, even the entry-level C200 Sport. But as a more representative scenario, this is the AMG line, and everything on this car, apart from the silver paint, is standard equipment. So everything you see, you get included.
So a word on specs. The usual Sport and AMG line trims are available across the range, with AMG line Premium and AMG line Premium Plus sitting above and adding desirable extras that make a Mercedes feel, well, more Mercedes. But in all honesty, few will feel the need to step up. The standard AMG line cars get sportier trim, plus 18-inch wheels and privacy glass. That kind of stuff, all for less than £1,500 more than the Sport. Saying that, every car gets those screens, LED lights, smartphone integration and a reversing camera, so you're not going to feel hard done by whichever one you go for. If you want to know what's included in all those flashier specs, check out our full review on carbuyer.co.uk.
For as long as I can remember, any Mercedes, whether it's a C-Class like this, an E-Class, an S-Class, any Mercedes, has always been a little bit more comfort focused than the equivalent BMW. The BMW 3 Series then is the one that you want if you commute along a twisting back road or you find yourself on a winding mountain pass. The C-Class is the one you want for long distances, say you're travelling from London to Berlin. Comfort, that's the name of the game. And while the C-Class is more dynamic than ever before, it still does the cosseting motorway stuff just as well as it always has. It's luxurious, it's refined, it's quiet. For want of a better cliche, it's just a really nice place to be.
Merc's engine range used to stretch far and wide, almost to the point of incomprehension. But picking the C-Class that's right for you is arguably more simple than ever. 2 petrols, one quick and another one quicker, 2 diesels, again, one fast and the other faster, and this, the plug-in hybrid. There's also a fire-breathing AMG C43 with a range-topping C63 on the way.
With its bigger battery, this plug-in hybrid will suit more people than ever before. Even without the engine, it's got 128 brake horsepower, so it picks up nicely and it keeps pace with traffic in, well, most situations. Like this, well, there's little to disturb the driving experience apart from, well, a bit of road noise and a bit of suspension noise as well. But put your foot down and then you get an extra 200 horsepower on tap. Total, combined, 309 brake horsepower. So this thing is pretty quick. 0 to 62 takes 6.1 seconds. And well, whatever people say, and despite the fact that, yeah, a BMW probably is a little bit sharper, this C-Class certainly isn't sloppy. It feels pretty engaging to drive. The steering, it's a bit light and it's not an awful amount of feel, but it's agile enough. There's no real body roll to speak of. Yeah, it's pretty good. The last point mentioned is the brakes. Merc still hasn't quite perfected brake pedal feel when it's got to deal with the regen as well. You can adjust the regen using the paddles on the steering wheel from strong to not very strong to completely off. But when you do have to use the actual brake pedal, there's just not that much feel. It feels like a lot of travel and not much action, so you have to press quite hard to actually activate the proper brakes, and well, that's just not very reassuring. This isn't an S-Class, so you're unlikely to be buying one of these to be chauffeured to and from the office in. But having said that, you might need to ferry your colleagues to a work meeting, or you might use these rear seats to carry the kids to their activities at the weekend. So you do need them to serve a purpose. And, well, it's probably not quite as much room as there is in a 3 Series. I'm fine back here and I'm just over 6 foot tall. I've got some knee room, my head's not quite touching the ceiling. It's overall not too bad for a car of this type. It does feel a little bit dark back here, especially in this AMG line car with the dark headlining, and there isn't much in the way of tricks or toys. You've got a couple of vents, but there's no USB slots or anything like that. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bag in the back. And remember what I said about the BMW being just that little bit better in the back? Well, it's the same story in the boot. 455 litres as standard, 480 litres in the BMW, and then there's the plug-in hybrid. This shrinks to just 315 litres, which, I'll be honest with you, just isn't good enough. It's 4 litres bigger than a Ford Fiesta, and that's just a Super Mini. And all of that before you consider where are you going to put the charging cables, because there's no underfloor storage. Look, I know there's an estate if you really need more space, but it's just not good enough.
On that note, shall we look at some deal makers and deal breakers? The Mercedes C-Class sets a new benchmark in the compact executive class. The screens are standard across the range and they work wonderfully. There may not be a pure electric C-Class just yet, but this plug-in is the next best thing. So long as you don't cover colossal mileage, you could pretty much run it as an EV most of the time. A 3 Series is more fun, but the upshot of that is that the BMW can't compete when it comes to comfort. But as we've just mentioned, the 3 Series is also a fraction bigger inside, and the boot, well, the boot in this plug-in hybrid is almost unforgivable.
The new Mercedes C-Class is better than ever. There's more than a whiff of S-Class to this thing. That dashboard, that strong plug-in hybrid powertrain, it's quiet, it's comfortable, and if it wasn't for that severely restricted boot, then this thing would be a no-brainer. Yes, a BMW 3 Series is more fun, but before you trade comfort for on-the-limit handling, just consider what you're going to use your car for, because, well, this could be the one.
If you like this video, then why not watch our review of what is arguably the new pure electric 3 Series, the BMW i4, or our hybrid and electric cars playlist. Thanks for watching.